Hey everybody, it is early Saturday afternoon and we're going to do another around the world update. This is my 29-gallon miscellaneous tank, and normally I start by saying that I haven't done anything to this tank this week, but this week I actually have. It's nothing really to talk about. I simply did a water change and a filter change, but that's pretty much all I did to it. I didn't even get in there and wipe down the glass. The few sparse plants that are hanging on in there never really need trimming or anything. This is one of those tanks that just sort of sits there and ticks over like a clock, and I never do a whole lot to it. But as I said, this week I did do a water change, I did do a filter change. My bio filters were getting a little on the clogged up side, so I gave them a little swish and a rinse out and got the tank refilled, and everything's back up and running, and that's that. The Gourami tank here is nothing really going on in this tank. Honestly, there's nothing really going on in any of my tanks. I've got some plans to do some stuff this coming week if the weather starts getting nasty, which I expect it to. In the meantime, I have been spending a lot of time outside, and I've been doing as much as I can to enjoy the autumn before we get the cold weather. For my fish people, you know, the viewers that like my fish videos as opposed to my outdoor videos, hang in there. I will be cooped up here in the basement pretty soon when the weather really changes for real, and you will probably be getting lots and lots and lots of fish videos. In the meantime, for the people that enjoy my outdoors videos, I've decided that I either have people watch them or they don't, so there's no point in me limiting my outdoors videos to just a minute or two. For the people that don't want to watch them, then they don't have to watch them, but the people that do enjoy my outdoors videos will be getting some a little more in depth, a little longer, a little better outdoors videos while we enjoy the last of the autumn, like I said. So hang in there, fish people. We will be getting lots and lots and lots of fish videos coming up here real soon because the weather's getting ready to change for good, and we will be into winter, and I will be stuck down here for months. So fear not, plenty of fish videos to come. For those of you who do enjoy my outdoors videos, you can look forward to some really pretty autumn colors and lots of time spent out on the water and hiking through the woods here coming up soon as well. So nothing really going on in the Gourami tank. I suppose I can say likewise for the angelfish tank. This is one of the tanks that I actually plan on doing a little bit of work on this week. I know I've been talking about it for a while. I have begun getting all of that white sand out of there, but I'm going to make another little chunk of progress here this week coming up soon, and I will get that on video. I'm going to get all these crappy looking plants out of the right side over here, and we're just going to get in there and start doing a little bit more towards getting it fixed up and looking nicer. Other than that, nothing really going on. My black ghost knifefish, likewise. You know, water change this week. I wiped the glass down, and that's really about it. I've gotten in there. I've shot in a little bit of video. Shotting? I don't know if shotting's a word, but I've shot a little bit of video. I've got a few. Squeaker says good morning. I've got a few little bits of video from my black ghost knifefish in there swimming around this week. And then otherwise, I haven't really done anything with this tank either. It's just sort of ticking over. Again, did a water change and wiped the glass down, but that was about it. I didn't bother to do any video of that. I haven't touched the filter, haven't trimmed any plants, haven't made any changes or anything else. My open top 20 is still just sitting here. We're probably going to have Squeaker talking to us for the rest of this video. He's in the room with me now. I did a big water change and cleaned this tank up recently, and after I did so, I was lamenting that one day soon I'm going to be taking this tank down, and it looked really pretty, and I didn't really want to take it down after I got it all fixed up and looking nice, but I said in that video that it wouldn't be long before that green slime cyanobacteria is all over everything, and once that happens, it won't be so hard for me to want to take this tank down. This stuff grows back so fast. I used to get in there from time to time and treat it with the green slime stain remover from Ultralife. It works really well, but you've got to get every little bit of it, and I never did. I always had it come back eventually. It took a while to start coming back, but it always came back. So eventually I stopped treating for it, and now I just treat it like nuisance algae, and when I do water changes, I have to get in there and do a little more labor-intensive maintenance. I have to wipe the glass down a little more, and occasionally pull some rocks and scrub them down a little bit or something like that. But the bacteria itself's not harmful to the fish. Nothing in there really eats it. It just sort of accumulates and makes the tank look nasty. So again, when this tank starts coming apart here soon and I start replacing it with something else, That's not really going to break my heart. It is a pretty tank, and I do enjoy it, but I'm really tired of dealing with all this green slime cyanobacteria. So moving on to my brackish tank, my other problem child tank with all of the red slime cyanobacteria. And you can definitely tell Butterbean has not been fed today. He is waiting for breakfast, so I'm going to need to get in there pretty soon and do that. See if we can get a little better look at him. Not a whole lot going on in this tank. I did shoot a little video of Butterbean here eating some snails recently, and I did get in and do a little more of the green slime, the red slime cyanobacteria removal, but this stuff comes back so fast in this tank. It's a matter of days before I have sheets of it growing over everything, as you can see on those rocks down there. The last time I got in here, I really cleaned it off of the gravel, which is why you can see the gravel so clearly now. But you can also see it starting to grow back across the gravel, and it won't be long at all before the gravel looks like those rocks with just sheets of this red slime growing over it. So this is another tank that's a pain in the butt. It's high maintenance. I've got to constantly get in there. You can actually see where the stuff's starting to grow across the surface of the water, where this moneywort is sticking out, and it actually gives it an anchor to hang on to and grow. And so I've basically got a pile of scummy bacteria growing right across the surface of my water there. So this tank is another one that's eventually going to get broken down completely. I do have a replacement tank that I'm in the process of getting set up. We will see that towards the end of the video. But otherwise, nothing really going on in here. Snail tank is just my snail tank. That's where I breed snails to feed my puffer that we were just looking at, and that's really all that is. I will mention real quickly, below my brackish tank, I have a quarantine tank, and that has a Corydoras in it. And the reason it's in quarantine is I did have it in my black ghost knifefish tank, and all its barbels are missing, and I believe that the barbs in there were nipping at it and tearing at its barbels. So I removed it. I'm going to leave it in here to make sure that nothing else is wrong with it and that it recovers and is acting normal. And once it does so, I will go ahead and remove it. And I think where that Cory is going to wind up going is going to be right here in my T-bar / Gudgeon tank. Sounds like Squeaker needs some breakfast this morning too, although it's early afternoon and he's already eaten twice today, so I don't know what he's fussing about. And you can probably tell where he got the name Squeaker from, although now I think we ought to rename him Shouter or Screamer or something else, because he does a lot more than squeak. Anyway, nothing going on in here. Again, just kind of having a nice look at the tank. It's really starting to grow in and look lush. I am due for a water change. The glass is starting to get a little bit of the diatom, the brown algae and stuff growing on it. I'm really happy with the way these rainbow fish are starting to color up. They're growing really fast, and the fact that they're growing so fast has got them large enough that they are now no longer really in danger of being eaten by this gudgeon, so I don't worry too much about that anymore. And yes, this cat does this all the time. He does this all night long. He does it at 5 a.m. It's really annoying sometimes. So this is my Gudgeon tank. Nothing really going on in here other than the need of a water change, and we will get to that later this week as well. Moving along to my 125, we need to come all the way back here on the other side of the room to get the whole thing in video. This is a 6-foot long tank. And surprise, nothing really going on in this tank either. I really have not been doing much of anything here in the basement, in the fish room. I've just been sort of keeping everything up and running and feeding everybody as need be, checking on everybody's health and well-being, and I'm doing the occasional water change as need be. But I'm not really in here tinkering and experimenting and doing stuff and tweaking and so on and so forth. As I said, that will come in the next coming months as we move into the winter, and I'll be sort of cooped up in the house. We'll get lots and lots of stuff going on down here. We'll tinker with stuff. We'll do some experiments. I'll do more lectures. I'll discuss whatever. I'll have plenty of time to do fish videos. So once again, for all my fish viewers and my fish friends out there, fear not, plenty is on the way. With this tank, the only thing I really want to do is get in here and make sure this brand new chute that I just shot a video of recently, I discussed whether or not I was going to try to train this chute into a new direction. If you remember that video, which seems like it was just a few days ago, look how long that chute is now. It was only just coming out of the root mass about a week ago, and now we have this much growth on it. And the current in the tank, the way the water is flowing, you can see the way the roots are flowing. The current is actually what helped to dictate where this plant, where this branch is growing. Of course, me getting in there every day and readjusting it, and the glass, you know, obviously it has to grow along the glass, it can't go straight through it. So that is a factor as well. So we're going to get in there probably and do a little more trimming on this. You can see all these roots hanging down off of this end. These are all new plants that are starting to develop. And even more so on this end, we've got lots and lots of stuff that I really need to get in there and thin some of that out, because that's beginning to grow over to where my power bar is and interfering, my spray bar, and is interfering with the spray bar and the flow of the water in the tank a little bit. So I'll need to get in there and clear some of that out. So maybe we'll do some head cam video or something coming up this week as well. Other than that, nothing really going on. So this is going to be my new Brackish tank. And right now it's just got, I guess technically it would still be freshwater. I have begun increasing the salinity in it. Salinity is known or is measured in a scale called specific gravity, and it basically measures the density of the water and how many dissolved salts are in it. So I do not have a refractometer or a hydrometer. My refractometer broke a long time ago, and I don't really need it, but since I'm setting this tank up and I'm setting it up differently, it would be helpful for me to have one. I don't know what the actual salinity in the water is now. I have begun raising it, so we're not at actual freshwater at this point. We are beginning to get an elevation in specific gravity. I've mixed a little bit of water, a little bit of salt water in here so far, and we're going to slowly ease these plants into dealing with the brackish water. And once I'm up to full brackish and I've got the salinity right, then we will start worrying about moving the animals over here and getting that other tank broken down. But in the meantime, I'm slowly raising the salinity in this tank to allow the plants to adjust for it. And again, I know I've been promising this for a while, but there's no hurry because I'm not actually doing anything or making any changes to this tank just yet. But I will do a video where I talk a lot more about the salinity and the brackish water and the plants and why I'm doing it the way I'm doing it and all of the chemistry behind it and all that. So look forward to that. If you're not already subscribed, go ahead and do so. That way you won't miss when I got coming up, and you can check out my brackish tank playlist and look at all the videos I've got of my current brackish tank. I do have some videos on there already where I describe brackish water and how to set a tank up and what brackish water is and so on and so forth. This is last, and at this point it kind of feels like least. I hardly ever even see the crayfish anymore. You can see the water level has gotten lower and lower and lower. I haven't really even gotten in here and topped off the water in a couple of weeks probably. I don't remember the last time I did a water change in this tank. It's just down to 2 crayfish, and they pretty much hide all day. And every time I come down here and I look in the tank, I don't really see much of anything, kind of like what we're looking at now. I knew this was going to be a temporary tank anyway. I mean, if you just look at where I've got it placed, I actually have it sitting right in front of our cabinet door, our closet door. So obviously this was not ever going to be a permanent fixture here. And as we move into the cooler weather, I'm not going to have too much more time before I need to get those crayfish back out and into their native habitat, so that they will have time to actually adjust and burrow themselves down into the mud and hibernate for the winter. If I wait too long and put them out when the weather's already too cold for them, they won't have time. So I do want to get them back out into the wild pretty soon. So this tank is going to get broken down fairly shortly. Again, it was just a little summer fun tank to play with and put some minnows and some crayfish in and have a good time with. So no doubt we will be doing something like that again next spring. But for now, this tank kind of winding down for the year. It's sort of lost its fun. And again, the weather's getting a little colder, so it's about time for that to be moving on. So here we are all the way back to the beginning at my 29. And now we've officially come all the way around the world. So thanks again for watching. Once again, for all my fish friends out there, just stick around. You will get plenty to come as the winter moves on and the weather gets colder and colder. But for all of my outdoors friends and all the people who enjoy my outdoors videos, you too can look forward to lots of good stuff coming up. I'm actually processing a video right now of a big long hike through Hemlock Gorge. and I plan on going out this afternoon on the kayak, and I'm going to try to shoot some more video while I'm out there today too. So thanks again for watching this one. I'll see you real soon on the next one.